The motivation that you need to hear right now is not to do better or it's not to think better, but it's on how to be better. Example, this blue Gatorade bottle. I never even thought I'd be drinking blue Gatorade and where I am right now, right? I have my own apartment, I have a car, I have a good job, and I'm trying to start a business. I'm 19 years old. Never in my life did I ever think I was gonna get to this point, along with drinking a blue Gatorade, because I always thought when I was growing up, red Gatorade is better. But I think as my life changes and as I develop and as my brain steadily grows, my mindset shifts along with my taste buds, hence the blue Gatorade, right? A lot of the time when you might be on a path in life, it might not be the path that you think you would have been on 3 months ago or 4 months ago, right? Everything in life is all about progression. And I think that not a lot of people nowadays want to get to a point of constant progression, and that's okay, right? Because not everybody in life is at a point to where they can really relax and get the privilege of thinking about their future. A lot of people are either stuck in their past or stuck in the current tense because they have so many things going on, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? You should always bet on yourself, what you got going on, and just relax and be okay with where you're at. There's nothing wrong with taking your time, learning lessons throughout life, and being a good person, right? Just taking things slow. You don't always have to have $100 million by the time you're 24. You don't always have to have $6 million by the time you're 25, 26, even 20 years old. A lot of the people that have what you want, they're either miracle children or they're trust fund babies or they just got lucky. It's the reality of the situation that we call life. Nobody has ever gotten something worth getting and not thought about it rigorously, not done some at least training, not at least done taken a little bit out of their daily life to put forth towards this thing, right? A lot of people will separate themselves from reality and turn into what some people would call a glutton. And a glutton for reality is somebody that only takes, does not give, and only gives what they think is necessary to give to somebody else to get something back in return. Now, that is not the type of person that you want to be, I don't think, and I hope not, but that's not the type of person I want to be. In life, people gotta realize that you gotta take to give, you gotta give to take. I don't know if you ever watch anime, but in Full Metal Alchemist, there's a saying where, um, what is it? Matter can never be created nor destroyed. No, it's you need to take something, that you need to give something to be able to take something, right? You need to be able to give in order to take, because life is all about taking. So as long as you give, you'll be somewhat in the middle. I think that, sorry, Gatorade break. I think that some people get so caught up in their goals that they don't necessarily perceive the short-term consequences of their long-term goals or their long-term gains. Example, you can be as successful as you want to be. You can want to be a doctor. You can want to be a lawyer. You can want to be this, that, and the third. But you do need to realize in order to get there, you need sleep deprivation. You need tons and tons and tons and tons of hours dedicated to the craft. You will have to sacrifice things. But nothing in life that's worth getting is ever easy. Everything is usually pretty hard, believe it or not. When I first made this YouTube channel, back in 2000, I think 20 or something like that. I uploaded my first video when I was still living with my parents. And that first video was, do you care more about the haircut that you receive or the barber that you get your haircut from? And that subject might seem a little pointless to some of you, but to me back then it was very important because of where I got my haircut from, who did it, and how long it took. And it was free, frankly, but still that kind of made me put things into perspective. And it's not about the barber or the haircut. It's about the, you can kind of look at that sentence, the metaphor, if you will. And that one story can kind of attribute to my growth as an individual, as a person. And the same thing can go for you. One of your stories can contribute to how you grew as an individual, right? But I think it's important to make the distinction that no one story or no one time in life ever defines you as a person, as an individual. No one story ever makes you. It's always an accumulation of things that make you who you are. Your mistakes in the past don't make who you are. Your wins in the future don't make who you are. They make you a better or worse person, but that doesn't make you you, per se. Everything that you've worked towards, everything that you've done since you were an infant is what makes you you, per se. Now, with all the, wisdom mumbo jumbo, I would like to say that it is really important to have a system around you. It's really important to have friends and family and people who care about you around you. Because when I got to a certain point in my life, I realized having a small or having no friend group is dependent on the person, obviously, a better or worse scenario. Exhibit A. I graduated high school and I left for a couple of months and I came back and I realized that I only talked to maybe 2 or 3 people. And that's okay for me, right? Because I don't need a really big friend group to function. I just need those 2 or 3 people that are solid, which are my 2 best friends and my girlfriend. That's a really good 3 people, but that's all I really need to function. Well, 4 in my family. But it's this is hard. I've never really had to think about life in a past tense like this before. When people are on here and they just chat or just yap, it's really, I know it's comforting to some people because they can listen and think about their own situations and not necessarily compare, but contrast maybe the two. Because a lot of the time when you're alone or when you need somebody to talk to or you need something to do, there's always one person that'll listen. There's always one person that's going to be willing to help. There's always one person that's going to be willing to do the things that you can't do for yourself so they can do them for you. I think it's important to find that one or two people in life, because when you do, you'll have a better support system as opposed to having 20 or 30 people around you. Now, how long that's going to take you to understand is up to a lot of things in life. Some things don't come easy. Some things don't come hard. Both. If there's three things that are certain: death, taxes, and the future, you'll figure it out. Just like everybody else did. Peace.